The golden sun cast its first rays over the vast, undulating landscape of the Deccan Plateau. The morning air carried a crisp chill, laced with the scent of damp earth and wild jasmine. Birds stirred in the trees, their songs blending into the rustling of the wind. It was a land untouched, raw with potential, awaiting the hands of a visionary. Amidst this untamed beauty, a lone figure stood upon a rocky outcrop, his gaze locked on the horizon, as if reading the whispers of destiny itself. He was Kempegowda, a descendant of the powerful Vijayanagara princes, warriors who had ruled the northern reaches of the Vijayanagara Empire for generations. He was a dreamer, a leader, a man with a vision that stretched beyond the wars and rivalries that had long defined his people. As he turned to his loyal companions, his eyes gleamed with conviction. "This land," he declared, his voice as steady as the earth beneath them, "will be our legacy. A city shall rise here, a city that will thrive for centuries." Kempegowda wished to honor his family deity, Kempama, whose blessings had guided him since childhood. Battle-hardened and fiercely devoted, exchanged glances before nodding in unison. They had followed him through skirmishes and struggles, but today they followed him into history. The court of the Vijayanagara Empire was a place of splendor, grand pillars carved with celestial beings, marble floors that echoed with the whispers of history and the ever-present fragrance of burning sandalwood. At its heart sat the formidable king, Vijayanagara, a ruler known for both wisdom and an iron-willed dot. Before him stood Kempegowda, dressed in regal finery, though his stance was that of a warrior. He bowed low, then rose to speak. "My king," he began, his voice unwavering, "our empire flourishes, yet its heart beats only in its established centers. I seek your blessing to forge a new city, a place of commerce, culture, and faith. I have found the perfect land fertile, blessed by rivers, embraced by hills. If you grant me this honor, I will build a city that will stand the test of time." The court fell into hushed anticipation. The young chieftain, his sharp gaze searching for doubt and finding none. After a long pause, he finally spoke. "Ambition alone does not build a city, Kempegowda. Are you prepared for the trials that come with such a task?" Without hesitation, Kempegowda met his gaze. "I am prepared, my king. No force shall deter me." A slow smile spread across the king's face. "Then go, let your city rise." And with those words, Bengaluru was born, not in stone nor in brick, but in the heart of a man who dared to dream. Beneath the sky painted in hues of amber and crimson, the first stone was laid. The sharp clang of chisels against granite rang through the air, accompanied by the rhythmic pounding of hammers. Sweat glistened on the backs of laborers as the walls of the Bengaluru fort began to take shape, rising from the red earth like a phoenix from the ashes. But a city was more than just its fortifications. It needed water to nourish its people, markets to sustain its economy, and temples to anchor its soul. Under Kempegowda's watchful eye, the Dharmambodi and Kempambodi lakes were carved into existence. Streets came alive with merchants hawking their wares, their voices blending into a chorus of kannada, Persian, Tamil, and Arabic. Temple spires reached for the heavens, their bells echoing with prayers for prosperity. Bengaluru had awakened, but as its glory spread, so did envy. Beyond the walls of the burgeoning city, whispers of resentment festered. The Palagars, regional chieftains who once ruled unchecked, saw Kempegowda's rise as a threat to their power. In secret, they convened under the cover of darkness, their voices sharp with malice. "This upstart has grown too bold," one spat. "If we allow him to flourish, he will overshadow us all. We must strike before his roots grow too deep," another agreed. But swords alone would not topple a leader whose people stood behind him. They needed betrayal. On a moonless night, as Bengaluru slept, treachery slithered through its walls. A handful of men, once trusted soldiers, opened the gates to the enemy. The Palagars surged in like a tidal wave, swords glinting under torchlight. "My lord, the Palagars are upon us." A scout burst into Kempegowda's chamber, his breath ragged with fear. Without hesitation, Kempegowda seized his sword and mounted his horse, his silhouette a shadow of defiance against the flames that licked the night sky. Kempegowda led a daring counterattack. Under the cover of dawn's mist, his best warriors slipped out through a hidden tunnel and struck at the Palagars' supply lines. Without food or reinforcements, the invading forces grew weaker. The battle was fierce. Arrows rained from the heavens, steel clashed upon steel, and cries of the fallen merged into a tragic symphony. But in the chaos, betrayal struck its cruelest blow. A blade found its mark. Kempegowda faltered, blood staining his armor. Darkness closed around him. When he awoke, cold stone walls enclosed him. He had been taken to Srirangapatna, imprisoned within the very empire he had sworn loyalty to. Days bled into months, months into years, yet his spirit remained unbroken. Beyond the walls of his captivity, the people of Bengaluru whispered his name. They spoke of his vision, his courage, his unwavering resolve. And though his hands were bound, his legacy had already taken root in the hearts of those who believed in his dream. Then, one fateful day, the chains were removed. Recognizing his unwavering loyalty, the rulers of Vijayanagara granted him freedom. As he stepped beyond the prison gates, he was no longer just a man, he was a legend reborn. The streets of Bengaluru trembled with celebration as their leader returned. Under his guidance, the city flourished anew. Markets expanded, temples soared, and art blossomed. Bengaluru was no longer just a settlement. It was a beacon of knowledge, commerce, and culture. And the Palagars? Their names faded into the void of forgotten history, while Kempegowda's name became etched in time. Years later, an aged but unbowed Kempegowda stood atop the hill where his dream had first taken flight. He gazed upon his city, a living testament to his vision. "It will stand forever," he whispered, as the setting sun bathed Bengaluru in a golden glow. And stand it did. Centuries passed, kings came and went, empires crumbled, yet Bengaluru endured. Today, amidst the towering skyscrapers and bustling streets, Kempegowda's spirit lingers. His statue stands tall, a silent sentinel watching over the city he built. A city that was once a dream, a city that became a legend.